Hey there! Welcome back to another episode of Table Talk.
I was waiting for this, so
It's like Christmas for him, he's been waiting.
Oh yes, finally we are here to have another Table Talk episode.
So, Nils and Showan here. Today, this beast of a game we're going to take a look at today.
Is it really a beast?
I think it's a beast.
Okay, the box is a beast.
Hyperborea from Asmodee.
Is it Hyperborea? Hyperborea,
I don't know.
whatever.
Hyperborea.
You know the name of the game from Conan the Barbar, right?
Conan.
Yeah, Conan.
Oh, you're thinking about Hyperborea. I don't know, apparently it's different.
Really?
I think so.
Anyway, okay.
Anyways, okay,
Cut that, guys. Let's go over to the rules, okay?
Let's go. So
Okay, it's my turn?
Then. Go for it.
Okay, thanks. Okay, the game is all about, I would call it a 4X game, so it's a little bit of exploration. You can play it with face down tiles if you want. It's also fighting on the board. It's your own culture, a little bit of advance in your own culture, going on this tracks a little bit. But the publisher itself called it a back building game, so instead of a deck builder, a back builder. Why? Because you have this cubies here, and while you're playing these cubies, the 6 colored cubies determine the actions you can do. At the end of each turn, you have all these cubies in your bag, and at the end of each turn you are drawing blind out 3 of these cubies, put it on your player area, and while the other player is playing, you can think about your next actions. The actions are always determined on here on your player board. And how does it go? You have 3 of these cubies, and you can put it on the according color, so a red goes on a red, makes sense I guess, and yellow could go on a wild symbol here, on a rainbow color, or it can go on this yellow here. Once you completed an action like this, you can do the action. If you leave it open, then like this here, then your turn ends without any action on your player board. Let's go quick over the actions, just name it. So this is double movement. You can move around your miniatures on the main board. I'll show it in a second. This means spawn a new guy, bring a new armies onto the board. This is fighting, this is fortress, either or, makes sense. This is fighting and moving, or moving and fighting. You can change the order. This is also fortress and spawning, spawning and fighting. This means progress on your progress track, so go 1 on each like this, or 2 on this one here. Why you want to do this? This is a way to get more cubes into your bag. Again, it's a back builder. So if you're crossing with this blue token, for an example, this line, this a little bit thicker line here, then you can cash it in at any time on your turn for 1 blue cube. You take a blue cube from the main supply and put it in your bag. If you're crossing the second bigger line, you get 2 cubes of blue. Obviously, you take 2 from the main supply and put it in your bag. That's the way how you get more cubes into your bag. Then you'll get victory points over with this action, the yellow star's victory point. And this is advanced technologies you can gain, advanced actions. Here are 1, 2, 3, and 4 different stacks of these advanced technologies, and every time you're picking an advanced technology, let's say I'm picking this one here, you get 1 of these gray cubes, which has no value in the game. You can't use it, it's like blockers. You put it there and it's trash, and you gain this advanced technology, and it's only your personal technology. So this wagons here, for an example, put a green cube on and move 2. If you compare that to the original, green and a wild for movement 2, it's a better technology, obviously. Or maybe this one here, for an example, this is a red and a green on it, and fighting and 2 movement. It's the same like here, but again, 1 additional movement. And obviously you can put your cues on here as well. If you draw out another green, you can put it there and play these actions. Why you want to do that? because you are playing on this main board. You're starting in your own little city, determined by the color of the city, outside of the city. This is always a symbol for a city, the circle and houses inside, but you are always moving outside. You can go inside, I explain it in a second how this works. You can see there are different miniatures. Each color has a different miniature, and each color and race has a special ability, but we skip that in this little overview of the rules. So these are ghosts, you can kill ghosts, and with the fighting action, fighting is very easy. I go in there and I can now, with killing one, I can kill that guy. There's no defense, nothing, except for they have this fortress token here, and I take 2 to kill that, but I can easily kill that guy. Or the ghost. One very interesting part on that game is once you are on a tile, you can use the action on a tile. So let's say here's no more ghost because I killed the ghost before. I can go in this rune and take one of these benefits. Or I can go into the city and take the benefit, and I can go into this city and take the benefit. And you see the symbols under the cities are more or less the same symbols as on your player board, so you get additional actions by going in these cities or in these runes. This is a little bit tricky. Once you're in a city or in a rune, you're stuck in there and you can't move anymore unless you are refreshing. And this is the downside of getting cubes into your bag. So because if you're getting more cubes with this cashing in action into your bag, you have more cubes obviously in your bag, and you're only allowed to refresh when you draw out the last cubies. So you see there's no more cubie in it, onto your board. Play that, and now at the end of your round you can't draw any more cubes out of your bag. You're making an automatic refresh, which means all these cubies here going back into your bag, and this is a far more important thing, all of your miniatures going out of the cities and out of the runes. And this is interesting because now you can use it again and go again and use the action again. You want to, obviously, you want to refresh as fast as you can, but on the other hand, cubies in your bag are victory points. This colorful, not the gray one. The colorful cubies are victory points in the bag. So you want to have victory points in the bag, but not too much because you want to refresh. This game goes on and on and on until the end game is triggered. And how is the end game triggered? You can have a short game, that means one of these 3 different things can trigger the end game. If you play a middle game, 2 of these different things trigger the end game. And if you play a long epic game, 3 of them all has to be different, trigger out the end game. Once the end game is triggered, everybody has one more round and the game is over, and you count the victory point. Victory points are determined by this little crystals, by the technology cards, by the cubies in your bag, or by area control on the board. Technically, that's a quick overview, and I'm pretty sure for a beast like this, did Showan set beast to the game? I can't remember. Anyway, for beasts like this, it was very fast, and yeah, let's talk about our personal thoughts about the game right now.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you for those
very
extensive
back.
rules.
You know there's only cut later on, right?
I know, but from that long hiatus of the rules explanation.
Okay, yeah, let's talk about the components first.
Well, I don't see anything wrong with them there. I mean, the level of detail on these miniatures, I think it's pretty awesome. For the scale of the miniatures, it's amazing how they got that much detail on them. And I know you guys can't see that. I tried to get some close-ups, but...
But you made some close-ups while I explained the rule?
Yeah, when you were going over this, we got some good shots of these guys.
Of the ghosts? Okay,
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I love the artwork for it.
And the crystals?
Yeah, those are cool too. I mean, I really like the art on the cards too. I think the illustrations are really good. I mean, I have no issues with the components.
The cardboard, it's also very thick, right?
Oh yeah.
The backs, good quality on the backs.
Yeah, I'm actually glad they didn't cheap out on those and use the cheap plasticky type material for it.
Oh yeah.
I've seen those in some games and
oh yeah, Dice Masters. Marvel Dice Masters.
Is that?
Yeah. That's a
I've never seen those.
Paper looks like Chinese.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they didn't do that. These are definitely nice.
I fully agree. All the components are really cool. So once you get the box, I mean, it's a huge box, right? So it's a really huge box. But once you get that on the table, everything looks cool. Even these little cubies, which are not specifically different from other games, but they are okay. These tokens, maybe they could use other tokens, but that's so minor. Overall, the components are outstanding and really great. Yeah, but to be honest, I expected that in a box with that price. I would expect cool things.
You would hope so.
yeah. If it's not in there, I would say, wow, holy crap, that's shitty. But anyway, speaking about the components, they are really good. I would call them outstanding. So I fully agree, Showan. The detail of the miniatures is more than good. The backs are more than good. The cardboard is extremely thick, so everything is good. The quality of the cards are good. So yeah.
More importantly, then, how does it play?
The mechanism. So technically, for me, it's a mixture of almost everything. So they put almost every little piece in it, and the real new innovation is they call that back building.
Yeah.
So
instead of the deck building, now it's a bag building.
Yeah. That's a cool, clever new idea, cool, clever new mechanic, and putting all these other things together. Yeah, that's cool.
I like it. It's like a mesh of, I guess area control, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, almost everything. Everything in it, right?
I think it works well.
Yeah.
I really like the bag building aspect. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. But on the other hand, speaking about mechanisms, do you really think there's only one way to win the game?
I wouldn't say there's one way to win the game, because there's a number of ways you can get points. I mean, like you explained, you have the gems here that are worth points. What else? The cubes in your bag.
Yeah.
There's some area, like depending on the tiles you control.
Area control points, yes.
Also for combat, I mean, when you kill other opponents' miniatures.
Yeah, but this is technically very minor. You get only one victory point for killing people.
Yeah.
Unless for the ghost, you can get for one killing ghost 1, for 2, 3, and for 3, 6. But there's no benefit for killing more than 3 ghosts, so you're stuck with 6.
I mean, in all the games that I've played, I haven't seen anybody kill more than 3 or 4, so...
And the last game, I was so close to kill 5, just to prevent you of getting the points, but I was totally destroyed by another guy.
Your plans were foiled.
Yeah.
I won't mention any names.
Yeah, I would agree. So there's not only one way to win, there's not a one-way winning strategy, but there are some different, depending on your race, depending on your special ability, there are some passes you should go. And especially with this technology, advanced technology cards, there are some cards extremely strong in the game. So, for an example, there's one card that means destroy a cube and get a victory point out of it. If you do that multiple times, that is, from my perspective, extremely strong.
Well, we don't want to jump ahead too far yet.
And yeah, I agree. But on the other hand, last time we played that, it was on Friday, so 2 days ago. And we had one guy who accidentally figured out a very good strategy. He had this fighting race with red warriors over here. And he got a cool ability. Each time he get a victory crystal here, he gets an additional one. So, and on the board there are some places, cities you can go in. And get a crystal, and we had in that game 2 or 3, so he had the ability to kill us if we are standing on there, because he had this fighting race, and each time just jumping into the city, if we kill him after that, he was fine because he jumped in and do it again instead of waiting for refresh. You don't need to, because he had the fighting guys, so he was happy if we killed these guys, and he got always, instead of just 1, 2, or even if he did that twice, sometimes 3 or 4 or 5 in a row, and the game is over. One of the victory end conditions is 12 victory points, 12 crystals. So he accumulated very fast these crystals. So that was a really strong combination of ability and race power.
I think in summary, it's and again, I'm not going to go too into it right now, but each race does have the event. You can pick a special ability that you want to play the game with. If you're playing, I think it's called a race war type game. I know that's not the best term to use, but in the rulebook they call it race war, as opposed to playing everybody neutral and no racial abilities. It definitely seems that each race is suited for a certain style of play. So I don't know if you want to say that you have to go in a certain direction depending on who you're playing as. So, I mean, there seems to be a winning strategy for every combination. I mean, I haven't played enough with every race, so I can't verify that, but from what I've read and what I've heard about it, that seems to be the theme of the game.
Well, what I mean is more or less, if you have a special race and you get a card,
well, yeah, you're going
which is triggering this ability, then you are getting really powerful. Then you have definitely a pass which your race and this card, where you know exactly if you go this path you will win the game.
Yeah, like I think on the backs of these decks you can see, maybe you can see that there's a red and a green arrow on there. What I figured that means that in this deck, the one deck, the card abilities seem geared more towards the green and the red players. So they have actions that tend to benefit them more. I'm not saying other races can't use them, but it seems like the green and the red will be able to take the most.
Technically, it's more for the cubes, for the red and the green cubes.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, if you have a lot of red and green cubes in your back, then you should take this one because
okay,
most of the abilities are
so
green or red. And
it requires more.
It's more
colors,
to the cubes instead of your race.
Okay,
but
I see. Yeah.
You are right. The color of the race is always a little bit close to the cube and the ability. So red is always fighting in this game. So a red cube is fighting, a red race is fighting, and a red card is fighting. That's true.
Yeah.
So yellow, for an example, are more victory point focused because yellow means victory points, like all these crystals here, and the special abilities the yellow guys get are there, and the yellow cards are getting, the yellow cards are over here, getting you usually victory points.
Yeah.
So color coded is the game.
Yeah.
You're right, but
I think that's kind of clever, but
yeah, that's clever. But there are so many icons in it. But I would say that's the right time to go over to the critics, right?
So
because we are so in between.
So let's go on over to the critics then. And I know you have a lot.
What means I have a lot of?
Well, there's a lot we can say about this game. I mean, some good, some bad. Yeah, so why don't you start then? Or do you want me to start?
No, I can. You made this introduction for me, so I have to. So, first of all, to be honest, I figure out there's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of fiddling stuff, and once you're building your engine, the game is over. So, for me, it's sometimes not really funny, especially if you're playing that game with 5 or even 6 players. You're sitting there waiting until all the others doing their cool action. You get 3 cubes out of your bag and you don't fulfill any action because you only pick 1 spot instead of 2 and you don't get the right colors out of it, so you have nothing to do, and then you are waiting another turn for coming back to you. So you can easily sit there 20 minutes without doing anything, and all the other players are doing something.
That brings up a point. The game does say that it supports 2 to 6 players. Definitely, I think that one of the biggest issues, and I hear a lot of complaints about it, is that
Mr. Research.
Exactly. If you're playing the game with more than, it seems like the sweet spot is 3 players. 4 I would say isn't too bad, but if you're going 5, 6 players, then there's going to be a lot more downtime, I think, and there's going to be more sitting and waiting, like Nils is talking about.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of games had that issue. But I felt last time we played on Friday with 5 players, and I felt a little bit out of the game. So, in addition, I know from the first quarter of the game, I know I can't win the game. My race ability was not according to the board itself. I had the moving guys and they can skip moving disabilities, but I have only desert surrounded me, so there was no benefit for me to that action. But because we played with a,
so your power wasn't as strong.
Yeah,
it wasn't really helping you.
And then in the first turn, my neighbor killed one of my guys, so I started with only 2 guys instead of 3. So I known from the get-go that I have no way to win. That was a little bit frustrating for me. Playing a game 1.5 hours and you know exactly you have no chance to win is frustrating for me.
Well, see, what's interesting is the handful of times that I played this game, each game has gone really different. I mean, they haven't played out the same.
Oh yeah, agree. Some are really aggressive, some are really peaceful. You're talking about that?
Yeah, that kind of ties into my overall opinion of the game. I think it's very hard for me to say exactly where I stand on the game because each game seems to be so different. The experience is so different, and it depends on how many you're playing with, who you're playing with, the level of experience, the factions you're playing with.
Yeah, but for me, the question is, especially if we are talking about critics, do you really have fun while you are playing that game?
Well, yeah, one of the games I had like no fun because it just, like you're saying, you're describing a situation where you knew that the outcome was pretty much set. You felt that you had no way of winning.
Yeah.
And that was it.
And last Friday
when we played that big group of people, I didn't experience downtime the way that you are talking about. I mean, I felt like I was okay. I felt the game was moving at an okay pace.
Yeah, you were a little bit more in the game than me.
Definitely, I was more involved in that game because I wasn't being destroyed. So, I mean, I felt it went better on that sense. And I mean, the scores, well, especially between us, it was pretty close. I know the one guy that we keep referring to, again, so, he pretty much came out on top. So
another critical point, and you said I had a lot of critical points, is for me if you pick the right technology, the right advanced technology that is according to your race, then you are so powerful and I would say unstoppable. And this is just, I wouldn't call that randomly because you have the chance out of a lot of cards, 8, and you can change a row, so you have a chance to pick out 1 out of 10 cards. So that's a lot of choices you have. But if they are not the card in it, and if there are only crap on the board, so hey, then you are screwed up. You get your cool thing, hey, I got a new technology, and you can't use it. And if you see that, and the fact that the game, I never finished that sword. I started with that sword, I never finished it. Once you're getting your cool abilities, so you get your first one, the second one, and you think, oh, that triggers together, the game is over. So you started your engine, you built your thing, and the game is over. We had one game, I remember, we started by just going into the middle and just crushing, preparing for fighting, everybody had cool abilities for fighting, bam, the game was over. Without, we killed 2 or 3 ghosts or 4 ghosts in the whole game, but no player versus player competition. So I thought, hey, why the game is over so fast?
Yeah, and that was weird.
So that's frustrating.
I thought that this was a pretty aggressive game. I mean, I read a lot of games where people are just attacking each other left and right. They're just ending up with these huge, massive kills, getting all these points from. After that game, I was like, so where's the fighting?
Yeah, but I never saw.
That's what I'm saying. Like, obviously, we weren't doing something. Obviously,
we are too peaceful.
They were doing something. Maybe.
Oh yeah, you're Canadian.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, so
I was expecting this bloodbath, and then there was none of that. And I was like, well, what happened?
To be honest, I never saw a blood fight in this game. Never ever.
Yeah, it was. Maybe we're doing something wrong. I don't know. Maybe we're not.
Definitely not from the rules. So another part, and then I'm over with critics. Another part which itches me a lot, and I hate that. I really hate that. So
I know what's coming.
We read the rules and we figured out how the game works, and I taught the rules to all my friends, and we did it and we played it like this, and Showan jumped in and said, no, there's an FAQ out there that changes that rule because no idea. The designers figured out it screwed up the game or whatever. Yeah. So that is a rule where in the original rules it says you leave your cubes on the unfinished rows while you are freshing, and in the FAQ it says no, all cubes go back into the bag. So I looked like, huh? And the rules is different, and Showan told me, yes, it's different, but they changed the rules. So
yeah, there was an official rule change. If you look at the rule book, there was one tiny paragraph that mentioned, yeah, if you have an unfinished track, remove the cubes from all completed and uncompleted tracks, and then put them back in your bag. Except for if you have a card that has a continuous ability, you can leave those cubes on there to use that ability constantly throughout the game. Why that change was made, I didn't really explore it. That was the rule change, so that's the way I played it. Maybe
the only reason why I explain it here is, and why I pointed that out, is for me a game where you pay, in Canada you will pay $70-80 for the game, maybe 90
roughly.
And a game where you pay $90 for a game and you has to go online to figure out the right rules. Yeah, you can make your own opinion on that.
You see, that doesn't bother me because I mean, other games.
You have Mr. Research.
Yeah, but this is not the first game that has done that, and usually, I mean.
And it's not the last one on the market. I'm sure. Yeah.
So I mean, it doesn't hurt when I get a game. I'll go online and check to see, like on the company's website, because they usually post the updated rules there. I mean, it's been a couple of cases where games that I've owned, they've changed rules in a significant enough way that I wanted the updated rules. Whether you should have to do that or not, well, I don't know. I guess
I feel to explain it a little bit more, and I'm forced by Showan to explain it a bit. It's a board game. It's something you have in your hand, not in your computer. That's not a PC game. You should not be forced to go online to see how the game works. Okay, that corrupted our business a little bit because we are online too. But anyway,
there you go. He's saying this whole channel is obsolete now. Don't watch our videos.
No. Okay, stay there. We are going over from the critics to what is the next one?
The fun and replayability.
Oh yeah, fun and replayability. Yeah, come on, go first. I talked so much.
What? I do like this game. I think it's a really cool game. I think it's an interesting mix of combination of different games, but honestly, I think there's a learning curve here, and
yes.
By that I mean a learning curve to learn how to play your certain race with and see what card combinations work best. I mean, there's always the option you don't have to play with the racial abilities if you flip these tiles over. Like normally there's your home team's starting place. You can flip them all over and they all look the same, so you can play them all neutral. That seems boring to me. I mean, but they do give you the option to play like that, so it's a preference. I do like it. For, like you were saying, research-wise, going online and learning how to play, I think there's a little more of that than I would like there to be.
I don't want to talk about that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I did find that frustrating. I'm thinking, but I mean, to me, to an extent, is okay. I think there's a little bit too much for my taste. So maybe if you don't want to have to do that, or if you don't feel you should have to do that, maybe you're not interested in playing this kind of game. If it doesn't bother you, then why not? Go for it. I mean, it's a good game. I like it. So, I don't know what your thoughts are.
I have still so mixed feelings about the game. So, for replayability, I would say yes, yes, yes. Especially because no one can say he had the same game ever. Not even because it's a random map. No, these hex tiles are random. I put out all these stupid miniatures. So you see, these are random hex tiles here. I hope you can see that here. So it's a random board, and so every game has to be different just because of the random hex tiles, but also the different races, the different cards. So there's so much randomness in setting up your board, your race, the abilities and some games have a lot of fighting, some games have only a little bit of accumulating new technologies and organizing your bag. So there's so much in it that I would say the replayability is enormous in the game. Really, more than the far more than the average. So it's huge. But on the flip side, fun I talked about while Critics was fun, I only had not to be honest, not every game I played I had fun. So
I gotta agree with him there.
And is it a good game if I sitting there for 1.5 hours and chatting more with the others about sports or drinking beer or whatever instead of playing a game?
I didn't know you played sports.
Shut up. So, is that really funny? Is it funny if I have to look for a side attention instead of the game? To sitting there for 30 minutes and do technically nothing except for drawing 3 cubes out of my bag, place it on the board without any action, and maybe move one of my guys into the city and move one spot. Oh, that is a stupid example. Move one spot and go one on the track and then say, okay, waiting for the next 20 minutes because now the turn is over.
I think that's
is that really funny?
I think that some of that can be affected by the level of experience of the players too, though. I mean, if you have players that are undecided on what they're going to do, I mean, really, when you're drawing out the 3 cubes, you don't have a lot of decisions to make. It's very limited as to where you're going to place them. You just have to have in mind what you want to do. But I mean, yeah, you have players that can sit there and think, geez, what do I have in my bag? Where am I going to put this? What am I going to do here? Yeah, the downtime is going to be crazy. Or you might know already because hopefully you've been planning your turn while everybody else has been doing theirs. By the time your turn comes around, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit has changed in that meantime and you can adjust a little bit.
Fully agree, the downtime is dramatically dependent on the experience of the player and the AP of the player. Fully agree, but if you're screwed up by the colors you're drawing out of your bag, and over the course of the game you will have up to 12 dice in your bag, and you will draw out colors you can't use in this particular situation, then you'll have pass in a second. And if the other one's drawing out cool abilities and having this and triggering that and drawing more cubes out of that and trigger that, and they are making all the cool stuff, and you're sitting there and thinking, they are making all this.
And then by the time your turn comes around, you've been slaughtered, and then you can't do much because they just destroyed you.
And that is what I mean. Replayability is enormous in the game, and every time you finish the game, you want to play it again. But on the other hand, you think, oh, yeah, it was cool, all these cool miniatures, all these cool crystals, all these cool abilities, but did I have really fun? No, I was just sitting there and talked to my friends. So I'm totally mixed feelings, so I'm so.
So if I was going to ask you what your recommendation is right now.
Oh, whoa, I feared that question for the first time ever. Totally mixed. So on the table, it looks awesome, it looks gorgeous, it looks... The first time ever I thought that game, it was at Essen, I'm pretty sure it was at Essen, and I was, oh cool, look at these miniatures, need it, want to play it, yes. But once it hit the table, I said, ooh. Lot of setup, lot of fiddling stuff, a lot of the icons on the board are not totally clear, so sometimes you have to look into the rules again, then the special abilities and the unbalancing. So for me it's a but I have to make a decision, I know, and I'm talking. Yeah, I reminded you at one point. So
I'll let you think about that for a second.
My is a recommendation for people who like miniatures and cool stuff on the board, but anyone else, definitely try it out before you buy. Try it out if it's your kind of game, if it's your cup of tea. So
yeah, the point that I was gonna say is when you look at the box, I'll show it to you again. This, I think people get some expectations from this box. If you're thinking it's a very thematic, combat-heavy game with a lot of story in it and stuff like that, no, that's not what I feel this game is about. And I think a lot of people have maybe had that hope or expectation, like you're saying, when you see it initially, you think those are the kinds of impressions that come to you. and they came to me too.
Agree. Yes.
The theme, I think, is very superficial. Maybe almost like it was put on as kind of an afterthought. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know. But it's very superficial. It's not a deeply thematic game. It seems more like a, I don't know, I've heard some people call it an abstract game, actually. Like moving...
I never thought about that.
I don't know, this is one comment I thought was pretty interesting. So the theme basically is very superficial. If you're expecting that going into this game, I think you'll be disappointed. If you're not thinking that, I would definitely try it before I buy it. But I mean, if you ask me for my opinion, I would recommend it if you want to get a game where you're going to sit there, you know you're going to get a lot of plays out of it. You're going to sit down, you're going to take the time to learn it, and you'll play with a group who likes figuring out combinations that are effective, how you can play better, more efficiently. I would think that you're going to really love this kind of game. If you're not into that, if you don't want to spend that time because you think you don't have to, or you just think it's too much, then you're not going to find it interesting, I don't think.
Does that really help you guys? I don't know. But
I mean, I do like the game. I think it's a really cool idea. I do like it.
Sorry, Showan, it was not against you. It was reflecting my own thoughts if it's helpful for you guys. So, but sorry for that really mixed feelings today. So I never had that feelings before for a game like this. That was my personal demand was so high to play it, and then the disappointing was so low, and then it comes back. So I'm still sorry guys. So
and I think that's partly because just the experience is so different every time we played it.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you have any thoughts, you're thinking about it, whatever, definitely try it before you buy it. I wouldn't pass up the chance to play it. Give it a try out and see what you think about it yourself. I think this one you're really gonna have to decide for yourself. I mean, like I said, I like it. You see mixed feelings about it. I can see why he feels that way.
Do you know that our audience is expecting...
yeah, I know they want to kill us right now, but...
They expect, is it a good game or a bad game? And now you're ending up after 20 minutes of watching, or 25 minutes watching our video. Is it good or bad? I don't know.
You spent that long to hear us say try it before you buy it.
Anyway, I would say that is the best ending we can do for that game, right?
Yeah, I mean, what else is there to say? We pretty much covered.
Yeah.
What else can you say about it?
Nothing. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure, to be honest, that it was really helpful for you to watch that video, because you saw how it goes and what's in the box and what all this mixed feelings could be out of it. But sorry, for the first time ever, we are not really clear on.
No, but I think that's good. I mean, I think you showed a real expectation of what somebody could expect when they buy the game.
Yes, I agree.
Now I think that you have an idea of what to expect. I think our viewers hopefully will be like, yeah, you know what, maybe I want to check that game, or no, I'm not going to check it out at all. It's not my kind of game. Hopefully we've done that for you at least. If not, then we failed and we won't be...
Give us a comment and say, guys, you're stupid. Anyway, we can handle that. Okay, I would say that was our view on Hyperborea.
I'm tired now.
Hyperborea. And yeah, your signature sentence, please.
Yes,
Showan?
give us a like and subscribe, please. And don't forget to watch all the other videos that we're bringing out. Seems like more and more lately.
Oh yeah. There's more coming up, I promise you that. Okay, guys.
Till
see
next
you.
time.
Bye.